7 tips for getting your K-1 visa approved. The K-1 visa allows the fiancé of a U.S. citizen to come to the United States to get married. Here are some tips for getting your fiancé visa approved. Gather enough evidence. While you may know that you're in a real relationship, the person looking at your application has no idea, so you need to show that you and your partner have met in person at least once within the past 2 years. Evidence might include photos, dated if possible, flight or hotel itineraries, written testimonies provided by friends, family, or colleagues, any correspondence between you and your partner. You'll also need to show that the sponsoring partner is a U.S. citizen, you're both eligible to legally marry, meaning all previous marriages have officially ended, you plan to marry within 90 days of arriving in the United States, and the sponsor has an income equal to at least 100% of the federal poverty guidelines. Disclose if you use a marriage broker. If you and your fiancé met through a marriage broker, you must tell USCIS, who will then check to make sure the service meets certain criteria. The goal is to protect vulnerable foreign fiancés from abuse and exploitation. Even if you make it through the K-1 application process without disclosing, you could end up facing serious consequences when you or your partner applies for a marriage green card. Prepare for the interview. After submitting Form I-129F, which starts the K-1 process, USCIS takes 10 to 13 months to approve it. Within 30 days of approval, the sponsored fiancé will receive an interview notice with the date and location of the upcoming interview. It's important that you prepare for this interview by gathering all the required documents and by considering any potential questions that might come up. They might ask about the sponsored fiancé's previous marriages, nationality, work status, history of travel to the United States, or criminal history. To prove whether the relationship is real, the immigration officer might ask the U.S. sponsor about their partner's hobbies, eye color, age, residence, and background. It's a good idea to prepare for these types of questions before your interview. Stay flexible. It's a good idea to be flexible with your wedding plans. Once the sponsored fiancé arrives in the U.S., you have 90 days to get married. That's not a lot of time, so you should consider planning a simple wedding that will allow you to make any last-minute changes. Remember, you can always plan a larger reception after the initial ceremony. Triple check your finances. The sponsoring partner will need to show that they make at least 100% of the federal poverty guidelines, so you'll want to make sure that you meet these financial criteria. This means that you'll want to save pay stubs or any other record of income to prove that you make enough money. As of 2021, a household of 2 people must make a minimum of $17,420 per year. If you don't earn a sufficient income, you can always use a joint financial sponsor. Monitor your social media accounts. The Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, might look at your social media accounts to check whether or not your relationship is real, so you'll want to make sure that the story you're telling in your application is similar to the story you're telling on social media. Be sure to check your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and any other platforms you use for any posts that might contradict what you say in your application. Fill out all necessary forms. Form I-129F starts the K-1 visa application process, but there are other forms that you'll need to fill out. For example, once Form I-129F is approved, the sponsored fiancé will need to complete the online DS-160 form, also known as the online non-immigrant visa application. There may be other forms as well, depending on your situation. If the sponsored partner has kids, they'll need to submit a K-2 visa application, which will allow the children to come to the United States. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Boundless on YouTube. Thanks for watching.